भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. By the infinite grace of Sri Ramakrishna and the Lord Krishna, we are continuing to study the third chapter of the Bhagavadgita. Since it is last 2 weeks we have done the study, let us recount some of the verses we have already gone through and then proceed. The 20th verse says, Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astita janakadayaha. The Janaka and Ashwambati, these are all the great sages as well as the kings. They are Rajas as well as the Rishis. That is why they are called the Rajarshis. They attain perfection. Samsiddhim astitaha. Here samsiddhim means moksha. According to Shankaracharya, it is moksha but is told here as samsiddhi. So they attained samsiddhi through the karma. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astitaha janakadayaha. Therefore, O Arjuna, if you think you are a perfected one, a liberated one, you have to do karma, at least for the sake of loka sangraha. Loka sangraha mevapi sampashyan. Seeing the purpose of the loka sangraha, at least you have to do the karma. So what is loka sangraha? Shankaracharya explains, lokasya unmarga pravrutti nivaranam loka sangraha. Making the people getting away from the wrong path. People should not follow the wrong path. What is wrong path here? The wrong path being not doing the work, becoming idle. That is the wrong path. So we should understand the spirit of the Vedas here. Vedas always ask the man to do the work, to be dynamic in life. That's why many yajnas, homas, rituals are prescribed in the Vedas. One should not live without any work. One should be productive in society. That is the idea. One should contribute to the society and the nation by doing the work. So this dynamic aspect of life, that is what is emphasized in the Vedas. So the same spirit is reflected in Bhagavad Gita also, when Krishna says, even so-called perfected ones who have been liberated, who have attained the highest goal of life, moksha, should continue to do the work, at least to make the other people not follow the wrong path. Because the people like Janaka, Ashwapati, etc., if they desist from the work, the common people also follow the same thing, and that would be disastrous, catastrophic for the society. So in order to make the people follow the right path, even the perfected ones, those who are liberated, those who are at the highest pinnacle, higher pinnacle of the spiritual life, should continue to do the work. loka sangraha mevapi pashyan sampashyan kartum arahasi. So if Arjuna thinks he is already liberated, he is a jnani, he should continue to fight. Of course, we know Arjuna is not a perfected soul. He is an ignorant soul. All the more he has to do. Even a perfected ones have to do the work according to Gita. Then the ordinary man should continue to do the work. There is no way for any person, whether he is ignorant or non-ignorant, a perfected one or one who is a struggling soul, he should continue to do the work. The work is mandatory, but that work has to be transformed into Karma Yoga. That is the message of the Gita. So the 21st verse says, Yadyada charati shreshtaha. The reason why one should do the work. Because if perfected souls desist from the work and they remain idle and they went on merging, they went on in their state called the Sushupti, called the Samadhi, where they enjoy the bliss of the God, bliss of the Atman, not doing any work, what will be the state of the society? That will be disastrous. People will follow the great ones. That's what Krishna says in the next sutra, next sloka. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha. Shreshtaha means great ones. The examples are already given in the previous sloka. The Ashwapati, Janaka, etc. Those who have attained the perfection. They are shreshtaha yadyadacharati, whatever he does. Suppose a great one follows certain path, the ordinary people also follow the same path. Yadyata charati shreshtaha tattad, the same path, itaro janaha. Ordinary people like us also follow the same path. Sa yat pramanam kurute. Whatever that great one thinks is pramana, authoritative. Here authority according to Indian tradition or the Vedantic tradition, Veda is the ultimate authority. But as far as the common people like you and me, those actions done by the great ones is the authority for us. So what is authority? What is the standard set by the great one? That will become the mode of action for the common people. Suppose certain ritual, certain actions done by the great ones. Suppose they do meditation every day after getting up, or Sandhya Vandana, or some rituals, and people follow that because they say, oh, such great one is doing that, and I also should follow that. This is what is called the pramana. Whatever the authority or the standard sets by the great ones like Janaka and the Ashwapati, the same thing lokaha tad anuvartate. Loka will follow the same standard. Loka will follow the same pattern of life. This is a very interesting shloka because the psychology of a person, ordinary person, is to imitate the great ones. And why we do Sandhya Vandana or why we do puja? Because our ancestors have taught us, our father, grandfathers are following that path. That is why we are also following. Or a guru has instructed us, do this, don't do this, daily get up and do meditation. And that is the standard set by the guru. So we follow it. Many a times we read books and the scriptures, we don't understand it, we don't consider the scriptures as authority. But in all practical means, the conduct of the great ones, conduct of the noble ones becomes the authority for us. So here Krishna says, the perfected souls should act in such a way not to confuse the people, and they should continue to do the work to set standard, set a pattern, set a model for the ordinary people. The next sutra says, who is the example of such setting a standard? Because we find several examples. Sri Ramakrishna is an example. Sri Ramakrishna married, though he was 100% a noble sannyasi. There were qualities of sannyasa in him in a most perfected manner. Still he married. Why he married? The discussion you will find in the Swami Sharadananda's book, The Great Master, or the Ramakrishna, the Divine Play. Why Sri Ramakrishna married? To set an example for others to follow. How a noble couple, ideal family should be run. How an ideal couple, the Dampatya, should be there. And how wife and husband should live together without the trace of kama or the lust or the desire, and how they can live a spiritual life. This is the model of the family life, of the householder life, set by none other than Sri Ramakrishna himself. So here, who is the ideal for us? Krishna says, I am the ideal. I am the example. You need not search for the example here and there. I am the ideal. I will show the path. You follow my conduct. Name partha asti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karmani. Name partha asti. O Partha, trishu lokeshu. Not only in this world, in three worlds. So in our tradition there is a mention of the three worlds. There are actually 14 worlds. The three worlds are important. One is the bhuhu. Bhuhu means this earth. Bhuvaha, the heaven. And there are gradations in the heaven. The lower heaven is called bhuvaha, and the higher heaven is called the swaha. Bhuhu, bhuvaha, swaha. Generally, these three lokas are mentioned to represent the whole universe. Even in these three lokas, name partha asti kartavyam. There is no kartavya. What is kartavya? We should understand the difference between karma and the kartavya. This is very important. Karma means any action. Whether we do it or not, it is called karma. What is kartavya means? The activities we are bound to do. Suppose a householder, he has to earn money to protect the family, to sustain the family, because he is the bread earner for the family. It is his duty. That duty is called here kartavya, what is to be done. Any activity is called karma, but kartavya is something obligatory. In traditional circles, there are three kinds of karma. One is the nitya karma, another is naimittika karma, and the third one is the kamya karma. Of course, there is another prohibitory karma called nishiddha karma. What is obligatory? What is mandatory? What should be done every day without fail? That karma or the action is called kartavya, that is called nitya karma. For example, Sandhya Vandana is the nitya karma. Daily ritual, daily puja is the nitya karma. One has to do it. The scripture do not prescribe any result for it. There is no specific result for such karmas, but definitely if you don't do it, there will be dosha, defect. The defect is called pratyavaya. You will incur sin if you don't perform Sandhya Vandana or puja or some rituals every day. What is nimitta? Naimitta? For reason, some reason. A son is born and we do some ceremonies. So there is a marriage, we do some rituals in according to the marriage ceremony. That is all naimittika. It is not obligatory, it is not mandatory. It depends upon us whether to do it or not. And the third one is kamya karma. Suppose I have a desire. So Dasharatha had intent desire to get sons, progeny. So he conducted what is called the Putra Kameshti Yaga. That is a kind of Kamya Karma. So Kamya Karma and Akamya Karma. Of course, these all karmas are have desires in motive. Akama Karma is what is called Karma Yoga here. Work done without any attachment and without any particular desire. If we offer all our works for God and if we work only for the sake of God, thinking that I am just an instrument, my body and mind are just instruments in doing your service, I am doing all actions for your sake, that is karma yoga, akama karma. So here kartavya means duties, what is to be done, mandatory, obligatory. Name partha asti kartavyam. O partha, in 3 words, I do not have any obligatory work to perform. I have no duty to perform at all. Because karma, we should understand, has got 2 purposes. One is, if we don't have something, we want to gain it. I don't have sufficient money, so I earn money by doing some work. This is the purpose of the work. Or you have something, you want to protect it. Or you have something, you have to protect it. For that also karma is to be done. So Shankaracharya explains Yoga Kshema in this manner. Yoga means collecting things, worldly things, or that we think we want in our life. We want TV, we want fridge, etc., etc. And protecting and putting our effort in protecting those which we have accumulated is called the Kshema. So all our actions, if we see, centered on 2 things. One is protecting what we have already collected and collecting the new things, yoga and kshema. The work is meant for it. And ordinary people like us do not know how to work in a detached spirit. So we have to learn from Krishna, not the Krishna of the human form, Krishna, the eternal God, the Paramatman, the Vasudeva himself. That is Krishna, the real form of Krishna. Krishna says, I do not have anything, nothing in this world, rather than in the 3 worlds, not attained. Anavaptavyam means not attained. I have attained everything. It is I who has become the whole universe. There is nothing outside my purview. Everything belongs to me. So we should remember the Upanishadic Vakya, the sentence, Ishavasyam idam sarupam. So the central idea of Vedanta is God is not separate from this world. It is God who has become the universe. So there is nothing outside the God, because God himself has become the universe. So in that manner there is nothing to be gained or attained by Krishna. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Vasudeva. Who is Vasudeva? Who resides in everywhere. The whole universe itself is the dwelling place. He is Vasudeva. So here we have an idea. The God is one who does not require anything, because he has already attained everything. It is he who has become everything. This is the meaning of anavaptavyam. Na anavaptavyam. There is nothing to be attained by me, and there is nothing to not attained by me, and there is nothing to be attained by me also, because everything is included in me. It is I who has become everything. In Purusha Sukta it is told, the Purusha, the Supreme Lord, Paramatman, sacrificed himself to become this world. This creation is nothing but the result of the sacrifice, yajna of the Paramatman. What we see as this world is nothing but Paramatman. Bhagavata urges for it. Everywhere we should see the God. In plants, in the trees, in the mountains, in the rivers, everywhere we should see the consciousness of God. It is God, this word and God, absolutely no difference at all. So Krishna says here clearly, there is nothing which I have not attained, and there is nothing to be attained by me. Nan na anavaptavyam avaptavyam, even then varte evacha karmani. As I already told you, we do work in order to make ourselves complete, fulfill. We think by getting one car we become complete. Then we realize if we get two more cars, one more car, that will make us complete. That is why we work. Until and unless we feel the incompleteness, a kind of lacuna in us, in our personality, we don't work. To fill up that lacuna, we work. That is the secret of this work. All kinds of work, ordinary work we do, depends upon filling up of lacuna or the sense of incompleteness. But God is complete. God has become everything. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. The Upanishad says it is Purna. It has become everything. It is full. Purnam Adaha, that is Purna. This is Purna. Purna Madaha, Purna Midam, Purnatu Purna Mudachyate. From Purna, what has come out? Purna has come out. We say the word has come out from the God. What is God? God is Purna. What has come out? God himself has come out from the God. That means the world is also God. The creator also is God. Suppose we subtract, we negate the Purna from Purna. Infinite minus infinite, what will remain? The infinite only remains. If we subtract or if we negate the word from the God, what remains? God only remains. If we add to the God this word, God only remains, because this word is nothing but God. So God is a complete entity. Our false perception is God is something incomplete like us. God is an individual. That is the concept of Semitic religions like Christianity and Islam. God is a person. God is like a king ruling over the world. Our Hindu concept or the Vedantic concept is God is complete. God is a principle like air, like the space. We know the space is complete. There is no place where space is not there, because you cannot imagine anything without space. Space is something to be taken for granted before thinking anything else. If I think of a pot, then I have to think of the space first, the pot within this space. So in this way, space has become everything. Space is everything. Space is Purna. In the same way, God is also Purna. Because the scripture says, Taittiriya Upanishad says, Atmanaha Akashas Sambhutaha. Atma means from Paramatman this Akasha has come out. So Akasha is infinite, Akasha is complete, Akasha is Purna. So this Paramatman from which it has come out definitely should be Purna or the complete or the infinite. And Krishna says, even though There is nothing in these three words which I do not have or which I want to have, to be attained or not attained. Still I do work. Varte evacha karmani. I am engaged in work. I continue to do work. There is no time when I stop the work, because the reason Krishna says in the next sloka, if somebody asks, why Krishna you should engage in the work, you may retire now, you can take rest, because you are complete, you have no desires, you are all in all, why should you do work? And Krishna answers in the next sloka, yadi hyaham na varteyam jatu karmani atindritaha mama vartmanu vartante manushyaha partha sarvashaha. Atindritaha. Atindritaha, this is a beautiful word here, we should understand. Vigilantly, very carefully, without sitting idle. All these meanings we derived from the word atindritaha, unwearied. Suppose we get tired during the work, we do have lapses in our work, we do a lot of mistakes, and that is wearied work, a work with defects. We don't put on enough effort on this work. That is not the case in the Lord. Lord works incessantly, He has no weariedness at all, and He continuously, vigilantly, carefully He works. This is one of the lessons we have to learn from Vasudeva Krishna. If Lord can work like this, I also should do work in the same manner. Every work should be taken seriously. We should try to do efficiently without any mistakes. That efficient work, unwearied works, and the vigilant work is what is called here atindritaha. I am doing the work more efficiently, in a correct manner, in a proper manner. If I don't do it, yadi aham na varteyam, if I am not engaged in that unwearied work, atindritaha. So atindritaha is commented upon by Shankaracharya as analasaha, without sitting idle, without being lazy, always be dynamics. So the wonderful thing about this aspect of the Paramatman is God is very much dynamic in our traditions. Vedantic tradition or the Indian religion, God is not static, someone who sits somewhere and is directing the world. He is very much dynamic. He is in and through this universe. Every activity, every action, a whole dynamism we find in this universe belongs to the Lord. This is the meaning of atindritaha. Vigilantly, unweariedly, I am doing work. If I don't do it, perhaps if I don't do this, I am always vigilant. I am always unwearied. I am always careful. I am never lazy. I am always. Jatu means always. Na varteyam. If I don't engage in work in this manner, what these ordinary people do? Mama vartmanu vartante. Vartma means the path. They follow the same path. If I don't do work, they follow me because I am the Supreme Lord. Oh, the Lord is not doing any work. The Lord is static. So we also will lead a kind of a static, a passive life. So the passivity is not the message of the Vedanta. Passivity in life is not the upadesha or the teaching of our scriptures. Dynamism, dynamic activity, and spiritualizing every activity is the message of the Gita and the Vedanta. So if I don't do work vigilantly, always jatu, then the people follow it. For people follow my path. Mama vartmanu vartante manushyaha. And they follow the path in every manner, sarvashaha. Not only in a particular manner, in a specified manner, in every way they follow me. That is the danger involved if God does not work. That is why, O Arjuna, I am continuously doing every work. My work, I am continuously engaged in work, vigilantly, consistently, carefully, without doing any mistake. This is the meaning of this shloka. Suppose if I don't do work, what will happen? Already Krishna says, Mama Vartmanu Vartante. People follow my path. What will happen if somebody asks? What will happen if they don't work? People don't work. What is the effect of not doing work at all? Then the next shloka says, Utsideyuhu ime lokaha nakuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyam imah prajaha. This lokaha utsideyuhu. Because all these lokas are my production. It is my manifestation, these lokas or the worlds are. If I cease to work, all these worlds will get destroyed. Suppose if potter ceases to work, and there will be no pots at all. So God is the creator. If God doesn't create, if he stops his doing work, and there will be no existence for this world at all. This is the one way of understanding this concept. There is another way. If God is something dynamic. The nature of this world is dynamism. If there is no activity, there will be no world at all. So if God is something static, and the world also will become static. God is the source of this world. Just like the pot has come out from the earth, this whole universe has come out from the God. If God is static, without action, then this whole universe also will be without action. So the dynamism will be lost, and there will be no movement at all, there is no activity at all. That is the sign of the destruction, what is called destruction. If a man stops working, if a man stops movement of his limb, that we call is a death. What is death? No movement, no work, no action. So actionless state is called here the death or the destruction. If I cease to work, since I am the source of this universe, the whole universe, all the worlds will get destroyed. This is the meaning of Utsideyuhu ime lokaha nakuryam karma chedaham. Aham, I, if I don't do work, karma ched nakuryam karma. Karma means his obligatory duty. It is his kartavya of the Lord. We have our kartavya, so the Lord also has got his own kartavya to create the universe, to sustain the universe. All these are Lord's duties. If he doesn't do it, there will be no existence for this world at all. The whole world ceases to exist. And if I don't do work, I will be the creator of the Sankara. Sankarasya cha kartasyam. This has to be understood very carefully. It is said in the Gita itself, God's work is to maintain this universe or they maintain this world through some social structures. What are the social structures we have? Ancient social structures, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. And Krishna himself says, Guna Karma Vibhakashaha. The Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these divisions are not based upon the birth, but they are based upon one's own qualities, guna, and the actions are the duties one does. So if a Brahmana is the man, a wise man, the man of intellect, he should engage in tapas, austerity, study, etc. Such a person is eligible called Brahmana. So if I don't do work and people also refrain from doing their respective work, a Brahmana desists from doing his duty of tapas and diswadhyaya, and a Kshatriya will no longer do his duty of protecting the kingdom or fighting the war for righteousness, etc. And there will be chaotic conditions, there will be disturbance in the society. That is called the Sankara here. If I don't do work, I will be responsible for such chaotic situation in the universe. The chaotic, that is chaos or the confusion or the kind of disturbance is what is called here Sankara. Sankarasya cha kartasyam. And also through that prajaha upahanyaha. And there will be no purpose of life for the people at all. They will be ruined, they will be destroyed, because life is meant for certain purpose. I am born with certain qualities, I have some social obligation, I have a Brahmanic qualities, I am of the intellectual caliber, so I have to set standard for the other people to follow, because the people look upon me for guidance, and that is the duty of a Brahmana. If a Brahmana does not do it, that is the spoil. The whole life will be spoiled. The whole life will be destroyed. Suppose a Kshatriya, the warrior, does not do his duty properly, his life will be ruined, and his life as if it destroyed. So in the case of a Vaishya, Vaishya is one who is engaged in commerce, commercial activities, and also the agricultural activities. If the person concerned with those activities, if they don't do their work properly, the whole social fabric will be destroyed. That is what is called destruction here. Upahanyam imam prajaha. These very prajas, all the beings will get destroyed. So there are 3 points here. If I don't do work, the whole world will get destroyed, because I am the creator. By my work, the whole world is generated or created. The second word is, the second meaning, second reason is, and I will be responsible for disturbance or the confusion in the society. That is sankarasya cha kartasyam. And also the people's life will be without any purpose or the duty. There will be a lot of confusion, and people find no purpose for a decent and better living, and they spoil their life. That is called here upahanyam, etc. So if law does not work, these will be disastrous condition that will follow if Lord Vasudeva Paramatman does not work. So Krishna says, even the wise man should do work. I have liberated, I have done sadhana, years of sadhana. Take the example of Sri Ramakrishna. What work he was supposed to do? He had no work at all, because he had realized the God, not in one form, in a number of forms. He has realized the God as a Kali, and he has attained the God in Vaishnava sadhana. He has done Tantrika sadhana, Advaita sadhana, every kind of sadhana on earth. In Hinduism, he has undergone it and has attained the perfection. Even then, the last years of his life was spent in work, 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 work. That is why Swami Vivekananda says, Karma Kathor. He is a great karma yogi. Sri Ramakrishna, we have often mistake him to be only Jnana yogi or Bhakti yogi. Sri Ramakrishna is a great karma yogi also. Incessantly he worked. From morning to evening, he would teach the people who came to him for guidance. And he himself would say, many people would come to me after I have gone through the Vaishnava sadhana. The Vaishnava sadhus would come for me guidance. After my Advaita sadhana, many Advaitin sannyasis would come. So it is a wrong concept that Ramakrishna did not do any work. Ramakrishna is the great exemplar of the wonderful work, and he has done wonderful work on earth. Of course, sitting in a small room in the Dakshineshwar, he transformed the consciousness of this whole universe. He rejuvenated the consciousness, spiritual consciousness of this whole world. That is the great work he has done. So, Ramakrishna did not have any obligation to do that work. Still he did work. That is what Krishna says here. I did not have any obligation to do the work. I have nothing to gain. It is not that I have to attain something from the work. There is nothing unattained by me, anavaptavyam, and also there is nothing which is to be gained by me. Still I do work. So see the parallel examples of Krishna and Sri Ramakrishna before us. They both are great karma yogis. So this is how a perfected soul should conduct. They should continue to do work. That is what Krishna teaches in the next shloka. Saktaha karmani avidvamsaha yatha kuruvanti bharata kuryad vidvan tatha saktaha chikirshuhu loka sangraham. So the wise man also should act in the same manner as the ignorant people are supposed to do. Suppose I remember of an example in Ramana Maharshi's life. Ramana Maharshi used to do many actions, involve himself in daily activities like cutting the vegetables, fruits, etc. Nobody would think that Ramana Maharshi is doing his duty. Ramana Maharshi, being a perfected soul, did not have any duty at all. He is a perfected soul. He cannot be bound by the actions of the karma at all. Karma do not bind him at all. He has no obligation at all. Still Ramana Maharshi was engaged in many activities of his ashrama. This is how a perfected soul should conduct. But there is a vast difference between the karma or the action done by Vidwan. Vidwan here means Jnani, the liberated one, and the karma or the action performed by Ajnani. So we have two distinct classes of people. One is Vidvamsa, Vidwan like Sri Ramakrishna, Lord Krishna and Ramana Maharshi. Then we have another set of people. We may all be included in that. We are all included, very common people. How do we work? Krishna says, we do work, we common people do with asakta. Kuryad saktaha karmani avidvamsaha. Avidvamsaha means those who are struggling souls, those who have not attained the perfection, they are the people who have who are doing work with attachment. Attachment to name, attachment to fame, attachment to the result. These are all the attachment. Without attachment, we cannot do the work at all. So our way of work is sakta. Sakta means with attachment. So we do all works with raga and dvesha. We are very much attached to certain things, and we are very much repulsive to some other things. We hate some things and we love something. So saktaha, Shankaracharya says here, asya karmanaha phalam mama bhavishyati. So we are attached to the results of the works. None of us are able to do work without attachment to the works. Though Krishna teaches in the second chapter itself, one should work without desire for the work. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. One should desist from desiring the results of the work. One should not work for the result. One should always do work for the sake of the work, for the sake of God. But still, we say this is a work and this work has some result. I do all my work for the sake of some result. This is our motive. This is an ordinary way of doing work. And such people, the common people, ignorant people, are called avidvamsaha in this shloka, in this verse, are the ignorant people. Saktaha karmani avidvamsaha yatha kuruvanti. How we do work? We do in a particular manner. So what is the difference between cutting vegetables? So vegetable cutting by Ramana Maharshi and vegetable cutting by an ordinary cook, what is the difference? We don't see any difference at all. Probably the cook more efficiently can cut the vegetables. Externally, we don't find any difference. Sri Ramakrishna also does some work, and we also do some work. What is the difference? Externally, we don't see any difference. That is how a perfected soul conduct according to Sri Krishna. Yatha kurvanti. The ordinary people do work in a particular manner. In the same manner, the perfected soul, the jnani, also conduct himself, engage in every kind of work. This is the order, command of Lord Krishna. But there is a vast difference, as I have told you. The ignorant man, like us, we do work with attachment to the results of the work, but the wise man should not be attached to the results of the work. Kuryad vidwan, the same kind of work. Maybe cutting the vegetables, going to the office and doing some service work, any work for that matter. The same kind of work, cooking, serving. So we have great examples in Ramakrishna mission. We have wonderful pujaris in Belur Math performing the worship of Sri Ramakrishna. I have seen one of them, Swami Sulabhanandaji, who performed puja for more than 40 years without any attachment, surrendering himself completely, his heart and soul, to Lord Sri Ramakrishna. So we know, we have heard the name of Swami Hitanandaji, who has written a book called Worship of Ramakrishna. We have heard wonderful stories how they would do puja without any external external show, but full of devotion, full of surrender to Lord Sri Ramakrishna and complete submission to the will of Sri Ramakrishna. So they have attained perfection by doing the puja work itself. So without any attachment to name, fame, or any external gain, nothing, only Sri Ramakrishna. And there were not only pujaris, there were assistants to the puja. They were assistants for 40 years, 30 years. Same work, same work. Even now we have a Swamiji in Belur Mutt. He is looking after the old shrine, and also he is looking after some water, drinking water system, etc. And he looks after a small garden in front of our monk's quarter. Perhaps he is doing that work for the last 50 years. He has become very old. He cannot walk. Still he is doing work as far as possible, as far as he can do it. This is the real worship. This is the real karma yoga. Asaktaha kuryad vidwan, the knowledgeable person, the liberated one, should do the same kind of work. He cannot do some other work, great work. I am a wise man, I am a liberated soul, I do only lecturing work. No. This is not the example. He should do the same work, same type of work, same mode of work as the ignorant people are doing. One should not find any difference in the work of an ignorant people and a wise man externally. But there is a vast difference in the internal state of mind, the state of mind with which one does work. The ignorant people do it with attachment to the name and form, name and fame, and also the results of the work. But the Vidwan, the wise man, doesn't have that attachment at all. He does every work for the sake of the Lord. In the 11th chapter, in the last sloka, Krishna says, Mat paraha, mat karma krita, mat paraha. So one should do work for the sake of me. My work he should do. Krishna's work we should do. Sri Ramakrishna's work we should do. How we can do Sri Ramakrishna's work? We are instructed as novices in Ramakrishna order. We are taught how to transform every work in the ashrama as Ramakrishna's work. And beautifully it is told in Bengali, Ramakrishner Karj, every work. So working in the shrine is the Sri Ramakrishna's work. Working in the office, it is Sri Ramakrishna's work. Working in the hospitals, educational institution, wherever you are posted and allotted, that is Ramakrishna's work. This is how we are taught and we are trying to do. It is sadhana for us. And there are many monks who have attained complete perfection in that. One example I can say, one Swamiji called Banbihari Maharaj, he did one duty, particular duty, for more than 50 to 60 years. And he lived all through his life in Banaras Sevashrama, Ramakrishna Mission Sevashrama in Banaras. It is a charitable hospital. There is a wing, that is bandage wing, where the wounds of the patients are cleaned and medicine is applied and bandaged. There is a wing there. And this Swamiji worked in that. He did not do any other work throughout his life. He attained perfection there. He attained the spiritual uh, perfection only through that work. He was so revered, he was so respected, he was called walking Vishwanatha, the presiding deity of Varanasi, we know Vishwanath, Lord Shiva. So people would call him walking Vishwanath. The miracle is always people wanted to get their wounds bandaged by this particular Swamiji, because when he bandages, when he puts bandage on the wound, it will be healed immediately, very quickly it seems. That is the miracle. So, you can attain perfection by any work if you can do with the spirit of detachment. That is the way, that is sadhana for us. But the perfected souls have attained that, like Ramana Maharshi, etc. So Krishna is commanding even the perfected souls to continue to do the work in the same manner as the ignorant people do, but without attachment, with detachment. Why should they do? Krishna says in the end, Chikirshuhu Loka Sangraham, with a desire to do Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha should be the sole purpose of doing work in the case of the perfected souls, like Sri Ramakrishna or the Ramana Maharshi. So you take the example of the Jesus Christ himself. Jesus Christ we believe and we revere as the incarnation of God. He is the spiritual personage. He has attained the perfection. He had seen God. What was duty for him? There was no duty at all. Still he worked until the end of his life, last breath, out of compassion and love for the humankind. So these are all great examples how to do work without attachment, asakta. So there are two words, sakta and asakta. Ordinary way of doing the work with attachment, sakta, asakti, and the better way, the noble way, the ideal way of doing work is asakta. That is what the Vidwan, the great personages do. So Krishna is commanding the perfected souls to do work without attachment to the results of the work, with the sole purpose of doing good to the world. That is called Loka Sangraha, to make the people to follow the right path, not allowing the people to follow or go in the wrong direction. This is the duty of all the noble souls, to make the society follow in line with the good path, the dharmic path. This is what Krishna says. So Krishna's command or the Krishna's instruction is very clear. Whether you are ignorant, you are in the path of perfection, you are a sadhaka, or you may be a perfected soul. Both of you, the people belonging to both categories, should work. The ordinary people should work for the sake of perfection, because Krishna says in the past, Janaka, etc., Ashwapati, etc., attained perfection by following the path of karma only. So we have to attain what is called purity of mind. The purity of mind will lead to eligibility to jnana, knowledge. Knowledge will not come to us all of a sudden without purity of mind. Only through karma yoga we can gain or we can acquire what is called the purity of mind. That is our duty as commoners. But those who are attained perfection, those who are already liberated, like Janaka, Ashwapati, Shri Krishna, Sri Ramakrishna, Jesus Christ, Ramana Maharshi, all these also they should do work. They should continue to do the work according to Krishna, because they also, there is a duty, they are also duty bound according to Krishna. What is their duty? Loka Sangraha is the duty. To do welfare of the world. The welfare of the whole world itself is their duty. By Loka Sangraha Mevartam Sampashyan Kartumarhasi. This is the command of the Lord Krishna. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.